Once upon a time, in the land of Jambudvipa, there lived a man whose heart was heavy with a question that has troubled many across the ages. Why is it, he wondered, that the kind and compassionate so often suffer, while the cruel and selfish seem to flourish? Why do the good sometimes die young, while the wicked live to a ripe old age in wealth and comfort? His name was Sudatta, and one day he brought this very question to the Buddha. In the quiet serenity of the Bamboo Grove Monastery, Sudatta knelt before the Buddha, his brow furrowed with doubt. "Venerable One," he said, his voice heavy with sorrow, "I have seen many good people who spent their lives helping others, yet they met with hardship and died young. Meanwhile, those who oppress the poor and exploit the weak live long and prosper. Is there no justice in the world? Does the law of cause and effect not truly exist?" His words resonated with the monks and lay people gathered nearby. Whispers rippled through the crowd. Some nodded in agreement, others fell deep in thought. The Buddha looked upon Sudatta with compassion, his gaze calm and wise. "Your confusion is shared by many," he said gently. "The working of karma is not as simple as it appears. Let me tell you a story, and perhaps your heart will be at peace. In the kingdom of Serpent's Tail, there were two wealthy merchants, Kla and Jaya. Kla was generous and kind. From a young age, he saw wealth as a means to help others. He built a hall of charity outside the city, where the poor could eat for free. He welcomed monks for alms, invited the elderly and the lonely to share his table, and never turned away those in need. One day, a ragged old monk arrived at his hall, seeking shelter. Klala welcomed him warmly, offering food, clothing, and a place to rest. Little did he know, the old man was a skilled physician. Seeing the suffering of the poor, the monk offered to stay and treat the sick. Kla was overjoyed. Together, they built a dispensary and treated countless people. Kala even persuaded other merchants to donate money and medicine, giving away his own fortune without hesitation. Jia, on the other hand, was the opposite. He was greedy and heartless, making his fortune through usury and extortion. He seized the lands and homes of those who could not repay their debts, reducing many to slavery. His mansion was grand and luxurious, yet his heart was cold, seeing only gold and silver, never the suffering of others. When his young son fell gravely ill, Jia sought help from Kleko's physician. The old monk cured the boy using a rare herb called snow lotus of the heavenly mountains. Jia offered a great reward, but the monk refused, saying, "Saving lives is my duty. Giving to others is true merit." Jia was deeply moved, yet he did not change his ways. Years later, a deadly plague swept through the kingdom. While Kala and the old monk worked day and night to treat the sick, even turning Klaya's own estate into a hospital, Jia fled with his family, posting notices that anyone bringing the disease near his home would be beaten to death. Kla, exhausted and exposed, soon caught the plague himself. On his deathbed, he smiled and said, "I have no regrets. To help others is the greatest blessing." He passed away peacefully at the age of 35. The people mourned him deeply. Thousands lined the streets to pay their respects, and even Jaya sent a generous tribute. Jia, meanwhile, survived the plague untouched. His business thrived during the chaos, and he lived to be 90, enjoying great wealth and a large family. The Buddha paused, then asked Sudatta, "What do you think of their fates?" Sudatta shook his head in confusion. "This is exactly my question, Venerable One. Kla was so good, yet he died young. Jia was cruel, yet he lived long and prospered. How is this just?" The Buddha smiled gently. "Sudatta, you see only a single lifetime. Karma flows like a great river through the three times, past, present, and future. To judge justice by one life alone is like trying to understand the whole sky by seeing just one star. He explained that Claw, in a past life, had been a dishonest merchant who cheated the poor, causing many deaths. Though he repented in this life and did immense good, the karmic debt from his past still had to be paid. His early death was the ripening of that old karma, while the good he did now would bring him blessings in future lives. Jia, in contrast, had been a virtuous monk in a past life, accumulating merit that gave him wealth and long life now. But his current cruelty was storing up suffering for his future. The Buddha concluded, "Good and evil always bear fruit, though not always in the way or the time we expect. Do not be discouraged when good people suffer, nor envious when the wicked prosper. Keep doing good, for the seeds you plant now will one day bloom, even if you cannot see them grow." Siddhartha bowed deeply, his heart now clear. "I understand," he said. "Our destiny is shaped by our own actions across lifetimes. The wise person does good without expecting immediate reward, trusting in the justice of cause and effect. And so, the people in the Bamboo Grove Monastery learned that true peace comes not from judging the fairness of the world, but from living with compassion, wisdom, and faith in the law of karma."